Hey guys, Modelling Weekly here. Today's video will be more of a quick one, as many of you have been requesting a guide on how to work with Eduard's new style removable cover film decals. I thought it would just be easier to explain in a video, so here we have it. All in all, it's a fairly straightforward process, so let's get straight into it. I hope you find this useful. Before we start applying decals, it's very important that the surface we're working on is as smooth as possible and as fully cured to prevent any damage from occurring. For example purposes in this video, I have painted up a few Airfix Wildcat parts, onto which I'd lay down some spare decals from Eduard's Horror Story Special Edition kit. At this stage I made use of Tamiya XF24 Dark Grey, thinned right down with Mr. Leveling Thinner. With a paint layer down, the next vital step is a high gloss varnish coat to prevent silvering or bubbles from forming. This is a vital step, particularly with this type of decal. For this purpose I used GX100 gloss from Mr. Colour. The decals can then be removed from the sheet, ready for preparation and application. I highly recommend the use of setting and softening solutions when applying this type of decal, as it helps to strengthen the decal's bond with the surface. My personal favourites are Micro Set and Sol, though you may have different preferences. Next, simply hold the decals beneath hot water for about 20 seconds, just as you would with normal decals. Then remove and place on a paper towel to soak up any excess water. With the decals themselves ready to be applied, use a clean brush to lay down a generous amount of Micro Set to the surface onto which the decal will be placed. Then, using tweezers, a brush or fingers, apply the decal just as you normally would, nothing too different so far. After leaving it for about 30 seconds to settle, use a brush to work out the majority of the air and liquid trapped beneath the decal with a gentle rolling motion. Don't worry about removing every last air bubble at this point, as this will be done later on. Just try to remove the majority at this stage. Then, after leaving the Micro Set to evaporate for about 10 minutes, I like to apply a generous amount of Micro Sol. At this stage, the decals are still fresh enough to remove the air bubbles from, however not so fresh that they will move when pressure is applied. The use of Micro Sol here helps the decal sink into the surface detail and softens them, which eases the bubble removal process. Removing the remaining bubbles themselves can simply be done with household cotton buds and a rolling motion. Try to force the bubbles outwards towards the edges of the decals where the air or liquid can be released. As you can see in the clips, doing this also helps to force the decals onto the surface detail more effectively. And here's the result, pre-cover film removal. Ideally, there should be no bubbles at this stage, and the decals should conform to the surface detail exactly. Allow the decals to dry for 24 hours before the next stage. Now onto the most crucial and delicate step, removing the cover film. This is done by using a normal scalpel blade, preferably a new one, to very carefully pry up the edge of the cover film from the surface. It seems weird to say this, but let the weight of the scalpel do the work here. Don't press down, just gently push it into the cover film and just let it peel up gradually. Once a big enough section has been lifted, pointed tweezers can be used to peel the film away. When doing this, keep the tweezers very close to the surface to minimise the chance of peeling the colour up, and take it very slowly in general. There's no benefit to rushing at this stage, as you can see in the video. Don't worry if the film comes up in multiple pieces, as you can simply repeat the scalpel stage until the film is completely gone. Once it's gone, you're left with a perfectly smooth, almost stencil-looking decal. Here's another example of the peeling stage, this time on the Wildcat's fuselage. Again, take it slowly and don't be afraid of it tearing into multiple pieces, as these individual pieces can simply be removed afterwards. Sometimes it doesn't go entirely to plan, and some of the colour from the decal rips up with the cover film, as it has slightly with this A marking. This, however, is an easy touch-up, so it's hardly ever a big issue. And that's all the film removed. As I mentioned previously, it will appear at this stage almost as if the decals have actually been sprayed on, which is a really nice effect to have. It must be strengthened, however, with the application of a further varnish layer. For this example, I made use of X35 satin varnish, though really any will do, and the decals resist any type of varnish, so don't be afraid to use your enamels and lacquers. A thick layer isn't entirely necessary, though don't apply the varnish too sparingly, especially if you plan to weather on top. Well, that just about covers it. Here's a few pictures of the results just to show you the effect you can achieve with this new style decal from Eduard. If you have any further questions, feel free to pop them down below and I'll do my best to help. I know this was a very quick video, though I really hope you found it somewhat helpful and that it was simply enjoyable to watch. That's all I have left to say for this video, so I'll take this moment to quickly thank my channel members for their continued support of the channel. It really means the world. I can't thank you guys enough. If you'd like to find out more about what being a channel member entails, feel free to click the join button down below for more info. Anyway, that's it from me. I hope to see you all here next time. Bye!